I want to talk about Bill Burr because you knew him way back when, and I've been watching his journey. Brutal. I've been watching his journey, and I'm like, is it the money that's changed him? Is it his wife telling him what to say? And because he's been on all these like very cringy appearances, like The View and like with Jimmy Kimmel, and it just seems like he is doing what Howard Stern did, where he's like turning his back on the common folk to suck up to whatever elite celebrity or whoever he thinks he has to align himself with.
Yes. They get that foot in the door and they just want more. That's the new goal. Like for the comics that came on the O&A show, all of them, Voss and DePaulo, Colin, Patrice Abonan, they wanted to do the best they could in comedy. You know, get a big crowd, play a good auditorium. Once they give you more than that, that's more than just a comic. Now you're an actor. Now you're this. Now all you want is that. You want more of it. And when Bill got that, fuck all the rest of everything else. So that's my opinion anyway. But I did know a lot of these guys pretty well. I couldn't imagine Patrice like. So you go on The View. You go on the View, but you're faggot, right? Like it would have just been inconceivable. But I think that maybe the money, maybe not. I don't know how Bill feels about money. But it's this power of being part of the Hollywood thing.
The in crowd.
He's on a red carpet. You know, the media's talking to him right after they talk to J-Lo. And it's got to be like, this is where I'm going. I need more of this. And that's part of it. I think, look, I don't know about people's marriages. I don't know how they go. I don't live with the fucking guy. But from personally my relationship with the guy and what happened with that was his wife was directly involved with telling him. He told me that. My wife, I can't work with you anymore.
Couldn't come on any of your shows.
Yeah, nothing. Because I didn't
even hang out.
My crime was that after I was fired for the episode in Times Square with the black woman, and certain comics, the O&A crowd, and they were very loyal until they're not. But they were like, what comics are backing Anthony? Because the ones that aren't can go fuck themselves. And Bill wasn't backing me. So the audience goes after him and goes, is it because, and just laid into him and his wife.
Okay.
I get that. That's fucking terrible. You don't want people shit talking your wife. But he tells me that I have to, or I should have gone on social media and said, hey guys, calm down. Don't bash his wife. It's like, have you ever been on the show? Do you know what these fans are like? If I would have said, calm down. First of all, lame for me. Like, I would have lost any respect of the audience.
You're not their dad.
I'm not their dad. I don't tell them what to do. And they would do it twice as bad, 10 times as bad. They were the pests. They were called that for a reason. And Bill should have known, I can't tell them to stop shitting on someone. They're going to shit on them even more. So I ignored it. I didn't say anything. And for that crime, Bill's wife, who got pissed about that, told him that he could no longer work with me.
But was she even like on Twitter? I mean, was she?
Yeah.
They were commenting on her social media?
They were on social media to the point where they saw it, and I think they were on social media at the time. And Bill's like a phony anyway. A lot of people have this misconception that he hits both sides. Like conservatives and liberals, he'll get them all. And it's like, no, you're mistaken. He shits on conservatives, and then the liberals he shits on are white women. Like, you see these white women, and even conservative women and white women, and those are his enemies. So it's not liberals he's going after. He's going after white women.
Which probably makes his wife happy.
Karens,
right?
Of course. You want to really goof on conservatives and liberals? Start talking about Black Lives Matter and what a circus that fucking crime syndicate is to this day. But no, not that. You want to goof on, you didn't start goofing on Biden until Biden was done. You didn't hear him talking about how insane this fucking guy was, because Disney and Star Wars would probably go, they kicked one girl off of Mandalorian.
Gina Carano.
Yeah, there you go. For what she was saying. And Bill's like, oh, look at me, though. I'm brave. I'm a comic. I'll talk about this. Not really, though. You won't really address some of the controversial issues that, if you're as smart and edgy as you say you are, you notice. You see what's going on. And if you're talented as a comic, you could make it funny, but you don't touch those fucking things. Those are, for the racists and horrible people. I think I think his wife has a lot of influence over what he does and says. And he got a taste of that fucking, he drank from the Hollywood goblet. And once you do that, there's no going back. You're only wanting to attain more. You want further. You want more celebrities to know who you are. You want more red carpet. And I think that and look, it's got to be fucking alluring.
How much? It's got to be a lot for him to change.
I don't know.
And carve out.
Ask, if I got some of those offers and that fame and money, and you're on the red carpet with A-listers, I don't know, maybe I'd be a fucking asshole. But it has to be alluring and like a drug to people, because so many people are sucked into it. So, while I'm not in a position where I could say he should or shouldn't have done it, I understand how the magnetism of it doesn't make him any less an asshole. Was he ever edgy? Was he ever, do you ever remember him being fun? When absolutely. When he was on O&A, and, he was in that studio at K-Rock, when we were on K-Rock, the Baby Bird episode with Pat from Unaki throwing up eggnog into an intern's face over a garbage pail. And it was Joe Rogan and Bill Burr. They were in studio. Joe Rogan was doing Fear Factor, so we wanted to do something disgusting. And holy shit, that's still talked about. It's online. Was it Christmas time because of the eggnog? It was the eggnog challenge, yeah. So I think it was. And Bill's there just laughing. And then we had Bill in studio at XM when we had Bernie Getz, the subway vigilante from the 80s. We had him in, and we got him so riled up, we thought he was going to start shooting people. And Bill was funny. He's like, hold on, Bernie. Don't let him go for his bag. He's pulling a gun out. It was funny. What year was this? This early aughts? Probably early aughts. Yeah. That wasn't even Sirius XM. That was just XM when we were at the Steinway building on 57th. And I'll never say, I'm not one of those guys that goes, Bill was never funny. He was never cool. He was never, no. That makes it more heartbreaking, because he was so funny and worked great with the show. And when you got those fucks together, DePaulo, Burr, Patrice, and Voss in the same studio, you were in for something that you could never pay for a ticket to see that. It was astounding how they would destroy everyone in the room. And I loved it. Everyone did. It was, I think that really put the O&A show on the map, was having comics in that weren't just doing their act. I'm playing Caroline's tonight, and here's what I'm going to say. It was bring these people in, don't dare do your act. We want you to fucking do what you guys do when you're hanging out. Yeah. And it worked great. It was funny as fuck. And, some of them are still fun and funny, and some, because maybe if you do the nectar of Hollywood, the sweet nectar. Yes. Right? You do these local radio shows before a gig. Yeah, maybe you have a couple things prepared, and sometimes it is bits from your act. Yeah. Because everybody else on the show is just so dry and horrible. Yeah, the hosts of the show don't know how to have a conversation. No. So it's so you took a plane here today. Oh, fuck. Not the plane bit. No. But yeah, you have to have. And the hosts have to have the...
Okay, so Cumia on his beef with Burr, still going after his wife. A lot of back and forth about where this all started. Cumia has his version, although if you ever read Cumia's first book, his versions of things are not necessarily the truth. It's not that he's lying, it's just that he remembers things very, very differently. And I think he might be doing it with the Bill Burr thing. I do think that all the stuff with Burr happened on just a disinvite from the Patrice O'Neill benefit right after he was fired. I think what Cumia is kind of messing up is the fans going after Bill Burr and his wife. They went after him after the disinvite from the Patrice benefit. When Cumia got fired, the fans went after the guys on the show, but it was mainly just like DeRosa and Norton and Bob Kelly and everyone, Voss, all the guys who would still do the show even though Ant got fired. And Bill really hadn't been doing the show that much at that time. His career had already started taking off. I personally think it was mainly from the Patrice O'Neill benefit thing. But the behind the scenes stuff, though, I still find fascinating. The famous dinner where Burr sat down with Cumia and said, I can't do anything with you professionally anymore. Now that, I will say Cumia is right, and that was 100% Bill Burr's wife. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.